Hello, everyone. Today is 11th of January 2023. My name is Alexander Ermenkov. I'm a ruling reality coach, and I would like to speak with you today about the reality of ecosystems. I know a lot of us are actually thinking that we are alone, or we are independent, or we don't want to be dependent. And of course, it is part of us that is willing to feel the separateness of life, and we want to be seen, and we are willing to be established as individualized consciousnesses. And that's why we have this awareness that we are, and I am, a separate entity from anything else, but we are made so codependent. And then there is a big debate going on, and there is a big fight also inside of us. Are we powerful, or are we weak? Are we able to be so powerful that we don't need anything around us? And or are we so weak that we are so dependent from everything else that everything else doesn't need us? And it's a very good question. And all the time, we the human beings are constantly moving in one area or the other. Or we think that we are very powerful and that we have grabbed reality and now we are the rulers, or we go in the other direction and we're just saying to ourselves, we are so weak and nothing depends on us. But once we understand the construct of reality and why reality is constructed the way it is constructed, we are going to understand that all of us, the personalities that we are specifically here in this experience, are so important for all the ecosystems that exist. Did you know that there are maybe hundreds of thousands of microbiomes that are in the moment living in my body and are fed from me? I'm a big ecosystem of beings, small and whatever they are living inside of me, and they're alive because I'm alive. I hope more of you know that there are so many mycotics inside of me, or some type of things from the mushroom kingdom that are just waiting for my body to stop existing in order they to start and push the button of their own function and to eat all my flesh. And they're still inside of me. I'm in the pharmaceutical industry, and a lot of people are very afraid of cancer. And I worked from the last maybe 15 years with pharmaceutical products for cancer patients. And I know that patients are dying constantly in every country with thousands and thousands. And some of us know that cancer is always inside of us. It doesn't matter, in a sense, if it grows or don't grow, it is there. There are always this type of cells inside of us, and the only thing that is happening are they starting to work strongly towards doing their function or not. There are so many things inside of us that are part of our ecosystem, and everything is so codependent. It is very important to understand this, because when we think about mindset, when we think about reality, when we think about ruling our reality, we are doing several things. We are actually ruling our own personal, internal physical materiality ecosystem. Then in our mind realm, there is another ecosystem that is also ruled by us, and a lot of things are fed because of our existence. I remember when this Korean movie called Parasites just before COVID was winning the awards. I watched the movie, and since I'm a rich person, for the first time, I realized how many more poor persons than me are feeding based on my existence. I have servants that are working for me half an hour, half day. I had even servants that were working for me full day, and I was feeding all of their families. I have private drivers that I was sustaining for periods of time. Then our children for more than 15 years have been using private teachers, to which I was paying more than 1,000 euro monthly just to teach my children. Then I was using sport trainers to train my children, and so on and so on. And I was paying so much more that is normally required from society in order to build up my children. And then I had a lot of construction builders that were around me for maybe more than 15 years. And I was doing some projects, and they're always with me, and I'm paying them money as much as they want. But I know that one day, if I want something from them, they're there to support me. So without knowing it, intuitively, I was surrounded by something that some can label as parasites, but actually I was surrounding myself with people that are maybe not so rich as me, but they were around me, and they were feeding and they were sustaining their families from my ecosystem that I was building around me. Later on, when I changed my establishment from being a worker into becoming an entrepreneur, more than 30 people are working for our company, and they're giving their value, and they're sustaining their families, and so on and so on. So I was creating another invisible being called organization that was and is creating value for myself and for others, and it is part of an ecosystem that is feeding workers. So I remember the moment I decided with one of my friends to not be any more worker, but to start being an entrepreneur, a person that is responsible for building entities we call organizations that are feeding and supporting other people. He told me, wow, this is a decision that you have made that is constantly and forever going to translate you into totally another stage of living. And this is what actually happened with me. I was actually translated into creating another ecosystem around me from which people are enjoying and are living from it. Is it good or bad? In this movie, it was with a little bit notion that it is a bad thing, that around rich people, there are a lot of poor people that are willing to be around them. But did you know that if in an area where only rich people are living, and if there are not affordable houses around them for the people that are at a lower place of living to support them and to give them services and so on, this community is not possible to exist. All of us are codependent on the ecosystems in order to survive. No rich person can survive on the planet of this earth without the support of all the people that are under him, that are, yes, around and surrounded by his ecosystem and are supporting him and giving him services and so on and so on. But what we are doing for each other at different levels, we are creating different ecosystems in the reality, and in this way we are supporting each other. That's why I remember when I heard for the first time from a person that was living in London, he said, Alex, I have a house, I have a car, I have a lot of things. And now my big dream is to have servants. If I have servants, then I have really and am successful in life. And a lot of people are saying, well, to have servants or to have people that are working for you in your house to help you and so on, this is not good. But when you are busy, when you want to redeem your time, when you want to be concentrated on things with which you can be more valuable for society, then it's good to outsource some of the things and to even support such type of workers. Did you know that one of the most high-paid jobs in Bulgaria in the moment are the cleaners that are going into the rich areas and are cleaning houses of the rich people? They're earning much more money than normal engineers and people that are working in companies. And this is very important to know, because what is happening in the moment in the economical area is that maybe 80% of the companies that are existing on the planet of the Earth are not necessary. They're out there only to support us to go to work, to create some products that we don't need. But in this way, we are creating an ecosystem where we feel valuable, where we are going, and they're the so-called zombies. If the zombie companies are going to disappear, let's say in the next 5 years, because there is a big crisis and so on, what is going to happen? Then we are going to see how many, maybe 80% of us are actually useless for society based on the products that we are consuming in the moment. But since we have put ourselves into such a system, an ecosystem actually, that all of us are to be valuable in all these ecosystems, so we are feeding from each other's ecosystem, and there are so many organizations that are created because this thing exists in reality. And it is very important to understand this is working inside of us, this is working around us, this is working in the mental field and the mental area, and this is working also in the spiritual world. So what is very important for all of us then to understand that our ecosystem is built around us based on the one who I am in the moment. Just imagine for a second that I am a very poor person who is very hardly supporting my family of 3 children, and I'm working from morning till night, and I'm still having my ecosystem. Yes, it's very survival type of ecosystem, but let's say I have brothers, I have families, I still can support someone under me. It doesn't matter how poor, for example, we are in the physical materiality, still we have an ecosystem under us from which other beings, other human beings, other things are supported because of who we are. And this type of ecosystem structures, they are existing in reality for a purpose, because it makes all of us, first, codependent, second, valuable, thirdly, we see how we are there, and there are people and there are things that are dependent upon our existence. And we can see, for example, in a family, the mother and the ecosystem of care she is creating around her is creating such type of feelings that if a mother is missing, for example, in a family, then something in the ecosystem and something of the experience and the existence is missing. It's the same with the father figure. It's the same with so many things in society around which these ecosystems are created. And for me, this is a very interesting topic, and I always see in reality, and that's why now it is very important, and that's why I'm becoming more and more responsible person, and I'm willing not just to create value, I'm willing to be more and more valuable, because more and more valuable as a person I am, more enriched ecosystem there is around me. And then the three things which are important into our experience: the I amness, the doingness, and the havingness, all of them are surrounded with ecosystems. And for me, this is very beautiful thing that reality is constructed in this way, and this makes all of us valuable. And then when we see this, we understand how we humans and how in reality everything needs everything else. And as you know, in the ecosystem, if we take away, for example, only the bees, it is going to be total disaster. If we take from the ecosystem only the trees, it is going to be total disaster. In order ecosystems to exist, everything is to exist. Everything is to function as it is. That's why if there is dysfunctionality, the ecosystem around starts to decay. If there is, so to say, if we flourish, if we thrive, then the ecosystem around us is also thriving and supporting this new type of existence. And this is the only thing that gives me motivation, that gives me joy to work more and more on my inner being ecosystem. And there are also a lot of things upon which I'm dependent in my inner reality. And also there are a lot of things that are dependent on me in my inner reality. Ecosystem is everywhere around us. We are not possible to exist without it. And it is also in the spiritual realm. If we think that it is only me and the oneness and the wholeness and there is nothing else, ecosystems stop to exist. If you think that one day we are going to feel just the unified field, we are going just to feel the consciousness and we are going just to stay in I don't know what type of state, no. One day we are going to see and be amazed of what wonderful ecosystem we are able to be experiencing when each of the parts of this ecosystem is giving its full potential for the collective, but not the collective, the personalized, but for the collective, not society, but for the collective ecosystem created of so much individualized consciousness, individualized ecosystem. That's why my only desire and my only responsibility is to develop and create my own personal ecosystem for which I'm responsible. Everything else about the world, it's not my job. I'm not here in this experience to change the world. I'm here in this experience only to change myself. And when I'm changing myself, I'm changing my ecosystem. And this is what actually this interaction between me and reality is all about. It's about what I'm surrounded with. It's about my thought processes. It's about my heart, mind, guts, and care and compassion, alignment. It's about the energies. It's about my communication between the creation and the creator. And there is also another beautiful ecosystem that is able to be developed there also. So we are not into personal development. We are not into mindset. We are not into ego creation. We are not in anything else but building beautiful and wonderful ecosystems where all of us are so valuable and necessary to exist. So thank you for watching today. Enjoy your reality. Continue to thrive and see how beautiful and wonderful the ecosystems that are around you are. All of us are codependent and we need each other. Bye-bye and enjoy your reality.